The girl reached out to flag down a car on the street, but unexpectedly, the next second she reached toward the driver's chest. The moment her fingertips touched his heart, the driver immediately lost consciousness. She then instinctively grabbed the steering wheel and began steering the vehicle. But instead of stopping the car, she pressed down on the driver's gas pedal and accelerated. As the engine roared, the car surged forward. She didn't show any fear. Instead, a faint smile appeared on her face. The car then sped into the town and crashed into the wall of the police station. The police were momentarily stunned and rushed out to investigate. They saw that the man was still breathing, but had lost consciousness. The girl's neck was pressed against the shattered glass, and the slightest misstep could have slit her throat. To prevent her from cutting her neck, they quickly placed a book under her neck. Then they pulled out a penknife, cut through the jammed seatbelt, and forced the seat back as far as it would go. The girl was finally rescued, but strangely the man's pulse was very strong and indistinguishable from that of a healthy person. He didn't look like someone in a deep coma at all. The girl claimed he was her father. On the way, he suddenly began convulsing violently and then lost consciousness, crashing into the wall. The driver's side door was already mangled, so the crowd had to pry it open with a chain and take the unconscious man to the clinic for observation. But the panicked woman was not who she appeared to be. Flashback to before the car accident. A man in a yellow suit was walking through the forest. He then crouched down in a corner and dug an old trunk out of the ground. When he opened it, it was filled with women's clothing. The next second, a bizarre scene unfolded. His bones began to rearrange themselves. His body creaked. In the blink of an eye, he had transformed into a woman. She then stood by the roadside, feigning helplessness, waiting for passing vehicles. That's when the scene from the beginning unfolded. Meanwhile, this small town had long been overrun by monsters. The people lived in constant fear every day. Mike entered the basement and saw a group of people standing there. They appeared to be performing some kind of ritual. The woman in the center slowly crouched down and placed the object in her hand on the ground. The next second, she began to swell at a visible speed, instantly taking on human form, and that face was very familiar to Mike. It was the man he had burned to death with his own hands, yet now he stood there resurrected. Meanwhile, the crowd on the ground worried about Mike's safety, so they sent Jack down to look for him. He called out Mike's name in a hushed voice, but received no response. Only darkness lay ahead. Mike blew out the lamp and hurriedly tried to lead him away from there, but the moment Jack looked up, he saw a man standing there.
Hello, Kenny.
Jack was instantly terrified and panicked. Wasn't he already dead? Fortunately, Mike pushed him and hurriedly fled. Once he came to his senses, he didn't have time to think. His legs instinctively began to run frantically, and he and Mike stumbled all the way back home. Mike told him everything that had happened inside. Only then did he realize that the monsters here were simply indestructible. The two returned to the police station. He pried up a section of the floorboards and pulled out a box from underneath. When he opened it, bullets were neatly arranged inside. This was the town's entire ammunition supply.